Hi guys, so I'm going to be making dinner rolls today. This is a mix of 500 grams of flour and we need 60% of liquid. Now the liquid here is 1 egg, 50 grams, 50 ml of water, which is about 50 grams in weight, 250 ml or 250 grams of milk. So 500 grams of flour, and that goes along with 300 grams of liquids. We also want a little bit of flavor into this, so we added butter because butter makes everything better, and there is honey instead of sugar because honey has a slightly more nutty flavor and it feels really good. Take a chopstick and just give it a quick whirl. Yeast, of course, we need that. I use very less yeast because my house is like saturated. I've put about 3-4 grams of yeast, but most people recommend using 7 to 8 grams of yeast, which is 1 packet or 1 teaspoon serving. Now this I'm going to empty over into, to mix it up I use a chopstick because that way it's a lot easier and it's much easier to clean up. So all you just do is like that. This dough, as you see, is very sticky and wet, but it will start changing. I did not bring anything to room temperature because I'm cooking in pretty humid weather right now. It's Hyderabad and the outside temperature is not really very high, but it's not very cold either, so I can get away with using room temperature, and actually the butter straight from the fridge doesn't really matter. The milk also was from a Tetra Pak, it went straight from the fridge. I've never really seen a problem using this in my city. If you live in a very cold place, it will change. Put all of it here, empty your container, then we start the kneading. There is still some flour left inside this. We'll get to it in some time. Let us get this into a slightly cohesive dough. We start mixing it. It's going to be very difficult initially because it's going to be very sticky and there is no shape to it. So what we do is we just start collecting all the dough from the sides and we put it in here. And we have to. I use a silicone sheet because somehow no matter how much you clean up your kitchen shelf, you still feel it's going to be a little leaky, so this is a lot easier to clean and use. You can also use a large steel vessel to do this. You can notice that slowly everything is getting stuck into this, and it's at this point of time we empty the remaining dry flour as well. So it is easy to work with. When you start baking, always remember to wash your hands really well before you get started because you will be using your hands and don't have fingernails and okay. As you keep kneading it, it will slowly come together, and you just have to keep on kneading it till it starts becoming really smooth and soft. Now you need to also find out when the kneading is enough. There is a test for this. It's called the window pane test. So what we do is we let it settle and then we start pulling it like this and see if gluten strands are formed. As you see, it's all breaking apart. So this is not yet ready. We still need to continue kneading this. It looks ready, but it is not. This is how you keep kneading. You just go like that. This, so a very clean window test is going to be very difficult to achieve, especially when you're doing it with your hand. Just give it another 5 minutes max, and that should be good enough. Yeah. Sometimes it's also a good idea to just make it into a ball when it's come that close to the window test. Just make it into a ball. You do it like this. So it becomes nice, smooth ball. And leave it for 5 minutes. We'll come back in about 5 minutes and see what has happened to it. 5 minutes of rest later, we just come in, and now what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, sweetie, sweetie, sweetie. You can see it's a beautiful window pane, and we are good for letting it rest for about 60 minutes to 1.5 hours until it's become doubled in size. It doesn't really need an oil coat on it because it's a nice and beautiful buttery dough. So just take it, put it in, smash, 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 toop, and cover it up. Leave it for it to double. You know what, we are not really going to be working on the dough. It's mostly just to get it less air in there. So just punching it in. Okay. Because I was lazy, I don't have my pen scraper with me right here. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to divide this into 16. I'm going to make 16 dinner balls, each of which is going to be about 60 grams in size. And make it into a circle. Keep it like that. Because I was lazy. My pen scraper is somewhere inside. I'm going to use a knife. Don't pull and tear. Always use a knife or a sharp pen scraper. So we have this divided into 2 parts. Keep that there. Yes. This is going to get divided into 8 parts. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So get them all separated. They're all going to be roughly the same size. So you don't really need to measure them out. But if you are very particular about just how much is each, it's not a bad idea to do that. Just move these to the side. Don't keep them next to each other. If you do that, then they will stick again. Okay, we got these. Remainder of the dough. See, nothing's gonna go wrong just because you did not get them the right size or something. I generally use a weighing scale, but I'm on purpose not doing that, and on purpose I'm not doing a pen scraper either, because I want to show you guys, see, it doesn't matter. I have this 9-inch baking square pan. It's buttered. This is what each one of these is going to go into. So let's go across making them into beautiful balls, which will go in there. Okay, let's start. So here goes. See that? How beautiful they've come out. You can do that each and every one. Okay, now you notice this is smaller, this is bigger. I'm going to do it like this on purpose. I'm not using my weighing scale, although it's right next to me, because I want to show that it does not really matter when you're baking for fun. If you're going to be baking and selling stuff, or there is a professional contest somewhere, yeah, of course, go ahead, get them all weighed and do it. But if that's not the point, it doesn't really matter. In fact, you can start putting them in right now. So there goes 1, 2, 3, slide it. That's the good thing about having butter there. So they're all a little different size, but it does not matter. So this is the last ball I'm going to be spinning around. Okay. Look at this. This is not very good. Okay. So So what you got to do about that is just spin it a little more. Okay, so it's a little more sealed up, and that's good enough. Because the last fella, as you can see, because it's a buttered pan, I'm actually able to even move them around a little bit so that they are having some space right next to them. Now, a lot of people get cling film. I have a passionate hate towards cling film. It's a product you can actually get away without using. So what I did was I have my Artica pack. So just cut it open, put that on top, fold it in so that it sits up. Kind of gives you a decent airtight kind of seal. Put some cloth on top of it. Avoid using things like cling film because it's not good, and really seriously we want to leave a planet worth living for our kids. So here goes, we got it done, and this is going to rest for about 30-40 minutes, in which time they will all puff up and then they'll be ready to go into the oven. So good 35-45 minutes have gone. Just open it up and see, it's all beautifully done. Now you can, if you want to, go ahead and get yourself a nice cup of milk and use a brush and pour it, or you can be a little more experimental. Just take a little bit of milk and a brush. I use a silicone brush because the other ones just simply smell too much. So there we go. Saves you a little bit of time, and there we go. I like to do it like this because this way you get more milk in there. Okay. Now the reason why you do it with milk is because I like the softer crust it gives. You can also, if you want, use egg wash, which also gives you a beautiful, much more shiny crust. You can, if you wanted to, go ahead and put just olive oil, which is also a very tasty crust. And yep, let's get it done. I'm not putting anything else on top of this. You notice how all of them have balanced themselves out? Yep, so there we go. If you're doing it for the first time, I strongly suggest you don't pour the milk in. You will end up putting it all over the place. Hopefully there will be a nice bit of bounce as well. This is now going to go into an oven for about 30 minutes at 180. Always preheat your oven before you put it in. Right. So once the buns are out of the oven, get a little bit of butter and rub it on them. This makes the crust softer. Because the buns are still very hot, it's easy to just rub the butter on like this. Okay, and once you're done, you can actually see how the bounciness is. Boom, 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 boom. Then take a brush. Just give it a nice coating. This. There we go. I'm gonna let them cool a little before I have a feeling my family will want to eat this tonight. Okay, so to see how soft they are, just pluck one of them out, and And that's it. So see, it's actually quite easy to make really beautiful buns at home using just your hands.